First, everyone thought that the Zircon 3M22 was a magic sword for fighting the American fleet, and all ships from an aircraft carrier to a destroyer or a frigate were on the line. Now it is clear that ground-based strategic facilities, including those in the United States, are in danger. Let's start from the beginning. An aircraft carrier has to approach the coastline at a distance of 450 kilometers to effectively attack targets deep in the mainland. The design range of the Zircon is 1,000 kilometers. The design speed of it is about Mach 10. This is twice as fast as Britain's newest Sea Scepter cruise missile. A single Zircon hit turns any nuclear-powered aircraft carrier known today into a pile of floating scrap metal with a lethal background radiation. After the explosion, the aircraft carrier will not be able to perform the function of a floating airfield. Radiation will kill every survivor. This is 3,200 crew members, plus 2,480 air wing people. The tragedy of Pearl Harbor comes to mind. This catastrophic destructive effect is achieved due to the high speed of the Zircon. When the missile hits, it pierces the stern and explodes inside of the ship. The kinetic energy of a hypersonic object makes it capable of inflicting damage, even if it's an empty bar. Putin called the hypersonic cruise missiles terrifying, and his speech to the Federal Assembly sounded more like a threat. A year and a half later, on Putin's birthday on October 7, 2020, the Russian military launched another new hypersonic cruise missile. The spokesman for the Russian Ministry of Defense stated that the Zircon's flight speed exceeded Mach 8. The height was 28 kilometers, and the distance to the surface target was 450 kilometers. It's the very distance that was previously considered safe for aircraft carriers. It is noteworthy that the launch was carried out in the waters of the White Sea in the Arctic Ocean, from the board of the Admiral Gorshkov frigate at a target in the Barents Sea. However, it turned out later that the launcher can be placed on land. What amazing versatility! The tradition to please Russian leaders on significant dates has remained in the country since Soviet times. However, a rollback to the previous position was noticed not only in Russia's attitudes to the West, but also vice versa. The 2nd, 6th, and 7th fleets of the United States are pressing Russia from all sides, north, east, and south. The superiority of the U.S. Navy is undeniable. The 2nd Fleet, which was revived in 2018 specifically to contain Russia in the North Atlantic, includes 4 former U.S. presidents: Dwight Eisenhower, Theodore Roosevelt, George Washington, and Harry Truman. So they joke in the Navy. It refers to the nuclear aircraft carriers, formidable, and until recently, the only argument for dominations in the waters of the northern seas. The activation of the 2nd Fleet's maneuvers in this part of the world is not accidental. The world is waiting for a confrontation, and Zircon, apparently, begins to play a major role. Therefore, Vice Admiral Keith Blount, the head of NATO's Allied Maritime Command, is sounding the alarm despite the support of the aircraft carriers named by the presidents. According to him, Russia is sending more and more submarines to the area where they can threaten NATO's ships. Russian Navy increased the intensity and the range of crews to its surface ships and submarines. What Daryl L. Claudel, Commander Submarine Force U.S. Navy says sounds like panic. The Vice Admiral said it was now dangerous to consider the continental United States a safe haven from Russian troops. The Vice Admiral's fears are well grounded. The fact is that the Zircon missile system is effective not only as a ground-based deterrent or a weapon for frigates and aircraft carriers. Submarines are also capable of carrying cruise missiles, and this is a completely different level of danger. When you know that Russia has a Severodvinsk submarine that is capable of carrying the Zircon, the decapitation concept takes on a deeper meaning. The 2 submarines, similar to Severodvinsk, will soon leave the slipways. In total, there are 9 submarines of the Severodvinsk type within the framework of the Project 885 Yasen. There is also a project for the production of Russian nuclear submarines of the 5th generation named Husky. The Vice Admirals are right. These submarines on combat duty in neutral waters off the west or east coast of the United States are a big threat. With proper maneuvering, a hypersonic cruise missile fired from a submarine will reach the target in 5 minutes. The decision-making centers, this is what Russian military strategists call command posts and strategically important objects, might become a target. For example, the U.S. Navy radio station in Jim Creek, Washington, or the long-suffering Pearl Harbor on the islands in the Pacific Ocean. The kinetic energy of the hypersonic missile is enough to reach the deepest basements and bunkers, destroying concrete arches and ceilings. The explosion will occur deep inside the object, no matter how reliably it is protected. It's time to talk about the construction of the miracle weapon and the power plant that accelerates the missile to unprecedented speeds. The cross-section of the missile is unusual. It reminds of the fairing of a car designed to develop record speeds along the bottom of salt lakes. At least, this is how the Zircon prototypes looked like. Despite a wide PR campaign run in the Western media, among all others, the Russians hid the appearance and the most private technical details of the combat specimens. This is not surprising, because it is necessary to create a sufficiently strong construction to ensure a high flight speed, which is the key advantage of the new missile. Obviously, the construction know-hows are applied here, and they are carefully hidden. Here's what military analysts have calculated based on the experience of similar developments in the West. The well-known 3C-14 Universal Ship Complex is used to launch the Zircon. According to some sources, the length of the missile body is 8 to 10 meters. From other sources, it is known that the length of the Zircon is about 6 meters, and the weight of the warhead is 300 kilograms. The temperature during flight inside the plasma cloud is over 1500 degrees Celsius, which means that the Zircon cannot do without space technologies like beryllium alloys, new ablation materials, composites based on barren and carbon fibers, and other refractory plasma coatings. It is also clear that it is impossible to accelerate a hypersonic object with a traditional jet engine. Therefore, the Zircon is armed with a new secret engine, which belongs to Critical Technologies. The fuel was also developed under this program. The Russians are using a new ramjet engine and a high-calorie synthetic aviation fuel named Declan, which acts on the unit like an adrenaline shot to a patient in a coma. The Zircon overcomes the enemy's air defense zone in a cloud of plasma in seconds. The unprecedented speed makes detection even a little pointless, because neither ships nor ground-based air defenses have time for a target acquisition and destroying a single missile. And there are no suitable means either. For example, the air defense of the Royal Navy of Great Britain is capable of shooting down air targets flying at speeds not exceeding 3,700 kilometers per hour. Due to the crazy speed and the ability to fly several meters above the ground where ground-based radars are powerless, it is problematic to detect the Zircon. It's fantastic. For the record, the maximum height of the trajectory of the new hypersonic missile can be just 30 to 40 kilometers. The operational corridor is very wide. In addition, the Russian hypersonic missile is equipped with an advanced navigation system, another latest development, about which